Namaste. I welcome you to my podcast, Holistic Conversations, with your host, Mamina Das. Join me in my journey, in all of our journey, because we are all unique and we are the universe. Welcome to Holistic Conversations. Okay, namaste everyone. How is everyone doing today? Just a question that popped up in my head. I thought to check in with all of you, and I wish and pray everyone is doing good, at peace, trying to at least. So, with that note, we are going to start our episode today. And today we have with us a guest who is very versatile. Sometimes we attach this word versatile when we are creative, but they can be versatile or diverse in their work as well. So I learned a new perspective to attach this word to people's diverse experience. And with that learning, I would like to say a little bit about our guest today. She is Linda Larson. I have to learn how to pronounce her last name. I'll do it now when she's here. Hope she's going to help me. Linda, I'm ready to learn how to pronounce your last name. And I think that will be an icebreaker for opening today's conversation. And she's an author. She's a speaker, and she has diverse experience that we are going to learn from her. And the thing that is calling me today is one of her books, which says, "Speak to me, God. Speak to me, God." How many times have we asked this particular sentence or thought or perspective or prayer to God? Speak to me, God. I tell it every now and then. I'm sitting for my prayers, and then I'm saying, I'm listening. Speak to me. Tell me something. So I am called to this book of hers, and she is responding, I'm listening. Yes, we all are listening, and let's now listen to Linda about what she is listening.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here today. And my last name is Schlitz, like Schultz,
Schlitz.
only Schlitz, yes. And
Schlitz. Okay.
Schlitz, yes. And actually, for those people in the Midwest, they've probably heard of it. My husband is distant relatives to the Schlitz beer distributor from Milwaukee. It was a Milwaukee famous beer, the Schlitz malt liquor. So,
Oh, I'm in the right company.
yeah,
Woohoo!
well, and I'll tell you what's so funny about it is that my first major drunk that I had in high school was on Schlitz malt liquor, and then some 30 some years later, I meet my husband, and we coincidentally met at Alcoholics Anonymous because we're both in recovery. So, kind of a crazy story, but yeah, Schlitz.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is, yes. And it got me here today, because if I wouldn't have had that experience, I wouldn't even be here to be talking to you today, because you're so right. All of us are unique, and every experience we have, I truly believe, like I know you do, that we all have been created for a particular purpose, and nobody who ever came before us or who will ever come after us has got the skills, talents, abilities, experiences, interests that we have. And
Yeah.
every single moment of every day matters. And we just have to seize the opportunity and go with it and see what God will lead.
Wow, that's really interesting. Now I'm interested to learn more about your love story. You know why? You know why? Because we always think that we will find love in the most sacred place, you know?
Yeah.
But after listening to you, I feel that we can find love anywhere. If it's
It,
meant to be, it's meant
right.
to be. So let's talk about
Absolutely.
that and learn about a different perspective to it, a different story. Like, don't block yourself. Do
Oh,
not.
interesting. Oh my. Well, I'll tell you, it was my life's been a challenge, and I've been married more than once, more than twice. And it began back in the 70s in the sex, drugs, and rock and roll era. And both of those experiences were traumatic in some ways, but also steeped in alcohol and drugs and all of those different things. I had come to a terrible time where I just felt like I was such a terrible, horrible person, having done so many things that I was gonna kill myself. And it was at that point that actually a 16-year-old girl told me that God loved me and had a plan for my life. And if I would just say, God, speak to me, he would answer me and give me hope and give me a new purpose. And when I did that, it was definitely a well, I'll tell you this story. I'm kind of segueing into my other story, but I said, God, if you don't want me playing in this bar band, then give me a sign. And I pick up a microphone and I got a shock. And I'm like, God, if that's you, give me another sign. And the light bulb blows up above the drummer. And for me, that was God saying, okay, there's a better way. This alcohol drug thing isn't serving you well. So, long story short, I went through a number of years of things. That was in 1976. And in 1985, I came back to Wisconsin. I'd been living in Arizona and I'd been sober for 10 years. But when I came back to Wisconsin, and my friend gets mad. She goes, You make Wisconsin sound like an alcohol, capital." Well, we had took the award again last year for being the number one alcohol binge drinking state in the nation. And so it's just very common to drink here. Like our churches have fundraisers where they have these huge shindig drink fests. And so, it was in 1996 when things kind of fell apart for me again, and my alcohol consumption got the best of me, and I drank a lot more than I should have, and I could have lost my counseling license because just went across a boundary line, and it was not. I called a client when I was drunk, I'll be honest, not a good idea. And so I got a call from another counselor. He said, You need to get some help. And he invited me to AA. I went to the Alcoholics Anonymous. That's where I met my husband. And we were both in a not at a time when either of us were ready to get into a relationship. Shouldn't have got into a They say wait for a year, but he had children that needed a place to live. And they were in a bad situation, and I was a counselor and I was working, and I don't know, it just all fell together in a very short amount of time. We met in March and bought a home in September, and with just the intention we're going to give these kids a home. Not We really weren't even seriously dating. It was just one of those crazy manic episodes. That was my first manic episode, to be honest. And my psychiatrist said, You did what? Okay, I met a guy and I bought a house. Okay, well, yeah, a little late on that. So it's been honestly a roller coaster ride in our relationship. But we were both very determined that this was it. till death do us part. And we have worked really, really hard and done tons of stuff together as a couple to serve our community, starting homes for veterans and other people coming out of drug rehab and prison and jail. And at one time had 46 beds for people who were living on the streets. And it really transformed, thousands of lives. And had we not gone through what we went through, the trauma, the ugliness in our paths, and then met at this place and took the risk, um, you know, lots of people would be dead today. And they've told us that over and over again. So it is an interesting thing, but we work really hard and people are so envious. They're like, "Oh, we wish we had a relationship like you guys do." Well, work at it. You get up every day and we both have our quiet times. We both love the Lord. We both spend a lot of time praying and just trying to be our best, to love each other and to find the good in each other. And we do this thing called the 3 Gs, and it's really transformational. And I don't know if I answered your questions, but I'll go into that more, unless you got some more questions about marriage.
Let's go for it.
Okay, go for the 3 Gs. Okay, well, my husband has had a lot of illnesses in his life, which has been part of our challenging journey. He developed Crohn's disease back when he was like 25 years old and had part of his intestines removed. Consequently, his intestines don't process minerals and they started creating kidney stones. So far, as of last week, he has passed 619 kidney stones
Oh
in
my.
his life. And needless to say, has been in pain a great deal. If you've ever had a baby or a kidney stone, from what women tell me, having kidney stones is worse than having babies.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so it's a very painful thing. And then his Crohn's disease, he also has migraines. So he became addicted to pain medication at one
Hmm.
point. Now,
Hmm.
when I met him, he was clean and sober and had not done either alcohol or drugs. But as time went on, he um, had one health crisis after another. And in 2008, he fell back into his addiction to the narcotics. He had 6 surgeries in a row and had been on narcotics for months, just dealing with these constant surgeries. And so I understood that, but he just couldn't get a handle on it. So he went out to treatment in California at a Christian treatment center. And when he came back with this little strategy. Now, I've been a counselor 35 years, and this is the single most beneficial thing. I use it with every client every single week. It's called the 3 Gs, and it is so simple and so scientifically proven and so biblically and any other religion based is that the first G is gratitude. It is practicing gratitude. Gratitude's been proven to be the most beneficial thing we can do to kick off the dopamine in our brains
Wow.
because it is not just dopamine, but serotonin and all those good chemicals, the feel good chemicals that we eat chocolate and drink alcohol and go gamble and scroll. We do that for dopamine hits. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And gratitude does it way better in a much healthier fashion. And we can do gratitude all day long. Now, when my husband brought this home, we we at that time had, I think we had about 35 residents with around our different homes, and we started using this with them. each one of them we'd go around the room and they would have to do the 3 Gs. The very first guys that came in, let me go back a bit. The first home we opened, the first men that moved into it was in like November of 2001, and we asked them what they wanted for Christmas that they would be grateful for, that they couldn't get without us buying it for them, and that they really, really wanted. And I've never met anybody besides the homeless people we work with, and I'm sure if you made a gratitude list, Mamina, that you probably would not put toilet paper on it. I mean, would you have thought of putting toilet paper on your list right off the bat? No. Most people don't. But toilet paper was their number one thing because here in Wisconsin in November, we have snow. We don't have trees and grass. Trees and grass in the summer, okay, you can use leaves, but in the winter we have snow. That's it. They had no bathroom, they had no warm place to go, and consequently, no toilet paper. The second thing on their list was underwear,
Hmm.
and the third thing was new jeans for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So that when my husband brought that home, it really was impactful to us. And we do it every day. My husband and I, we have a Facebook group. We do this. We have about 115 people in the group, and we do gratitude. The second G is what are you good at? Because again, you said we're all unique. We all bring something to the table um, to share. I call us faucets of hope because
Yeah.
if we're open to the spirit flowing through us, we are going to bring good things to one another. We just will. So the second thing is understanding that we've been created with good stuff. No matter what's happened in our lives, we are not worthless piece of garbage, which some of these residents that we had professionals say they're not worth your time. What? Everybody is worth our time. There is nobody that is not good enough for. We're all, to me, irreplaceable assets in the world. We just don't realize it. So when I help people write, what are you good at? That's the hardest one for them. The gratitude, yes. Once they go around and start counting toilet paper and that's not as hard, but what are they good at? Everybody struggles with that. And the third thing is what are your goals? And
Goals.
every day people are like, "Oh, I don't have any goals." It's like, "Well, are you gonna get out of bed today?" That's the goal, right? I know people that don't get out of bed. They can't get out of bed. So if you can get out of bed and you do get out of bed, then you can say, "Boy, I'm grateful. Number 1, I have a bed to get out of that was warm and that I have 2 feet I can put on the floor and I'm not in a wheelchair, and I am good at getting up even when I don't feel like it." And my next goal is to go to the bathroom and use the toilet paper or brush my teeth. And so every time you think of gratitude, something you're grateful for, you get this little hit of dopamine that goes, "Oh, wow." And I think your expression too, when I said toilet paper, uh, it's so important for people to understand that this stuff matters and it changes our brain chemistry and the neural pathways. And then when you focus on, I'm good at getting up. Hey, I do have a routine. I brush my teeth every day. Good for me. I've got a routine on something. And my next goal is I'm going to go get dressed or I'm going to take a shower. So if you can keep using that 3 Gs all day long with every goal, man, you're going to feel so much better by the end of the day. And then at night, even if you had a bad day at night before you go to bed, You look back and go, what am I grateful for that happened today? What did I do good today? And what goals did I reach? Not what did I screw up, not who did what wrong, none of that, because that's our tendency. We want to ruminate on, oh, I can't believe they said that to me. Oh,
Yeah,
she was,
yeah.
so, they cut me off in traffic. I mean, come on now. Or you turn on the TV, and that's enough to throw anybody for a loop. So we have to just really let go of things, and the expectations are just premeditated resentments.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of that.
Yep.
That's the best marital advice I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
Expectations are premeditated resentments. And why would you think ahead of time, oh, if he doesn't bring me flowers for our anniversary, I'm really going to be mad and I'm going to be resentful and I'm not going to talk to him the rest of the night. Well, you don't really think about how dumb that sounds, but it's pretty dumb
It
because
is
you can't
dumb,
control it.
but we have done. I have done it.
Yeah, I think almost all of us. And I can guarantee when I work with people on the verge of divorce, I have them do this 3G thing all the time, and I have
Mm-hmm.
them write that, and I have them look for what is good. What are the good things that have happened? What does your partner do? As a matter of fact, right before this call, I'm working on my next book that'll be out by the end of the year, and it's on the 3Gs,
Wow.
the scientific, spiritual basis, the
Mm-hmm.
holistic. It's a holistic book on why does this work so
Yeah.
efficiently, because it's just really common sense, but that's what I was writing on. The couples that I have been able to help reunite after even being separated and filing for divorce by using this 3G concept and practicing it and looking for everything you can think of that your partner is good at. Everything you can think of that you're grateful for in your partner. And what are your goals for making this relationship better?
Wow.
Wow. When you do that, and then here's the other cool thing, and if you write down and you do, I have parents doing this for their kids, with their
Yeah.
kids, and teachers
I think it
doing it.
works with every relationship. It's
It
a generalized thing. Yeah.
absolutely. And when you write it down, I had one woman, I said, "Do this for your husband." And when she came to me, she was a 10 on the stress scale. By the time we got done with this activity and of one other that I do called tapping, she was down to 0. But she
Wow.
wrote down, she was ready to leave him. She wrote down everything she was grateful for and everything that he was good at. And she said, I just feel like I fell in love again because I had forgotten all this. So she wrote down everything she was grateful for and everything he was good at. He breaks into tears,
No.
hangs it on the wall. I
Wow.
mean, think of how that would be if spouses at parents and children. I've had children do this with their parents. I had
Yeah.
one dad who said, my kids will never get into that. They're teenage boys, middle school and teenage
Yeah.
boys. And when they were driving to school one day, and he told them about it, and they'd done it a few times. And when they got to him doing what he was good at, he said, I can't think of anything I'm good at. And when all 3 boys chimed in, "Dad, you're really good at this," and "Dad, you're a good dad," he said, that was it. I was sold on it because it changed him to hear
Yeah.
it from others. And that's the other
Yeah.
thing. When we compliment others, it gives us more dopamine than even if we're saying positive things to ourselves.
Yeah.
Or if we're cheering someone on. It's really pretty remarkable how this whole brain thing works. But yeah, it's great. So, hope I'm
Yeah.
not rattling on too far.
No, it was nice to hear, these things. we don't discuss in our everyday life. We don't discuss it every day. So, which is supposed to be done every day.
Every day. Yeah, several times a day. Good at, grateful for. That's the thing too, that my granddaughter, for example, she lived with us for a while, and she came outside and we were walking around the block, and she's like practically in tears with the camera videotaping us because we always hold hands. Now we're in our
Oh,
70s. I just turned 70. He's 73, and we've been married 29 years. And she's like, I hope I'm still holding hands when I'm 70 years old. But it's
that's so sweet.
those kinds of things matter, and
Yeah.
we try to count how many times do we kiss during the day, just a little hug, little kiss, just I mean, dozens probably. That you've gotta work at it, you gotta make a conscious effort, but it matters. It really
Yeah, it
matters
does. It
to
does.
complement each other, but our society right now is so negative. We're always looking at
Hmm.
what people are doing wrong, not what they're doing
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah,
sad.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
totally right. And um, it is not a one day thing that we think like, wow, I have achieved, or I have excelled. There's no excel actually. There's only practice. So
Right. Right, right. That's very true. Yeah, very true that
and I also observed certain things like there's too much competition inside the family, too much competition. Have you ever been exposed to any, because you're a counselor, so have you ever been exposed to a situation where both the partners are competing with each other rather than complementing each other?
oh, yes.
How let's talk about that dynamic, because I have seen a lot, like, I mean, that is so devastating. That dynamic is so devastating because you are like breaking yourself, sabotaging. I mean,
Yeah, and it's so sad when they do it when they're with children,
yeah,
and they're competing over the children.
yes,
Who's the better mom, who's the better dad? Even if they're split up, they do that. But
yeah,
yes, competing about who's making more money,
yeah,
and who's doing more work,
yeah,
and that whole notion of what's fair,
yeah,
that can become a real stumbling block too, is,
yes,
well, that's not fair. Back to those expectations. I think if I'm a Christian, and not the kind that hates other people and calls people names and that that kind, which we unfortunately seem to see a lot of them these days. I am one that believes that Jesus, like many of the other religious leaders, was a very loving, wonderful guy who just gave love, unconditional love and support, no matter what. And that's what I think we need to do to our partners, to our children, and we need to model that.
yeah,
And in doing so, that also requires self-sacrificing sometimes. Marriage, my mother, the older I got, the smarter my mother seemed to be. When you're a teenager, parents are dumb. But one thing she used to say is marriage is not 50-50. It's 100-100. If you're not
wow,
both giving 100%,
yeah,
giving all you got to make it work, it's not going to work. You can't just say, well, I'm not doing this unless you're doing that.
yeah,
And so that competition, you're right, it is so sabotaging to a healthy relationship.
yeah. It is sabotaging to healthy relationship. It is taking a toll on our health, mental and physical both. I mean, like you said, why are you practicing gratitude with a homeless person? Why are you doing that? And why can't we do that when we have everything? That is my question.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that is my question.
It's
That is my question.
it's very hard because we have an entitled society. We
Yeah.
are entitled. We are so spoiled. And even if you really look at, now this will probably really irritate people, but if you look at the conflicts of what's happening in our government
Yeah.
and why we're in a shutdown right now,
Yeah.
it's because everybody wants what they want and
Yeah.
they don't want to give to anybody else.
Yes.
It really boils down, in my
Yeah.
opinion, to selfishness.
Yes.
We want people out of the country
Yeah.
because we don't want to spend our money on anybody else. We don't
Yeah.
want to open our homes. We don't want to donate. We don't want to give. We don't want to share because it's mine, 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 mine. And I
Yes.
think this selfish mentality, for one thing, is totally contrary to at least
Absolutely.
my faith.
Yeah.
Totally contrary to the way
Nobody's faith teaches this thing. I don't believe it. It's a human
no,
thing. It's
it
not a God thing. It is not.
no, it isn't. And it just, to me, it's so baffling, absolutely baffling how we are so split in our
Yeah.
country when we were, one for all. That
Yeah.
was what our country was founded on. And I'll tell you, it's so hard to see other countries. I've got really good friends in Pakistan and India that I support their
Yeah.
missions there. And man, the love and the camaraderie and the support seems to be so much different in other countries.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know why that is, but
no. I mean, uh, how I see this is like I forgot what I wanted to say, but the entire civilization or human population is created by God. See?
yeah.
So we are just the mediator or modality. Like nature is a modality, like animals are modality, human beings are modality. So God has created us with both evil and good. And what are we actually putting out there? You know?
Yep.
What are we
That's
actually? It's okay that we are in the evil side of human being human, but there is a possibility to it. There's a possibility to it. There is faith.
yes.
There's community. There is a village. There is belonging. There's support.
Yes.
There are so many things that can web the society and the
Right.
humanity at large.
Yeah.
But we do not have that much of time to think.
No.
We
No.
do not have time to think.
Well, and I know when I talked with you initially, I had just been invited to go and speak to these women veterans in Michigan. And that's how our organization here got started, was trying to help homeless veterans, because I was so shocked that we had so many homeless veterans who were coming out and had post-traumatic stress and injuries and all kinds of things. But learning that 13% of women veterans are suffering from post-traumatic stress. And of those women, 30% of them have sexual trauma from the military.
Yeah.
And that is so, again, back to the selfishness. I mean, when we're looking at trafficking, we're looking at sexual abuse, we're looking at alcohol, drugs, gambling, pornography, selfish, selfish, selfish. It all boils down to a me society. And that's the problem, I think, that we're having, is that we have lost the joy in giving. And when we are grateful for people and we see them as the irresistible assets that I believe God made each of us intended to be,
Yep.
And yes, even some of the worst people in the world were created for a good purpose.
Yes.
But whatever's happened in their life, they've gone astray, and we all learn to cope.
Yeah.
And the way we learned, we learned
Yes.
from our families, we learned from our teachers, and now we learn from our society. So
Yes.
we do what we learn, we do what we see. So you turn, and I fall into it too, whether it's how I'm looking at, oh, maybe I should do my podcast this way. We're always comparing ourselves to someone else and wondering, oh, am I good enough? Am I as good as they are? And so we judge ourselves, but
We do.
it's so hard, and these women were so destroyed by the shame and the guilt and how horribly they felt about themselves and life. And this 3G thing did make a huge difference to them. And teaching them how to let go of that shame was really important, and that they deserved to let go of it, and that it didn't matter who thought they were deserved it, at fault for it, whatever, not good enough. They are valuable, and they've got a purpose. And it was really great to see some of them be able to be healed with that message. So,
Wow.
yeah. And a lot of people turn away from God because
Yes.
they blame God for the things that are happening in the
Yeah.
world or to them, instead of realizing that there are two forces, good and evil, and
Yeah.
there's an evil force that does stuff too.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for people when we've been given a choice. This is my belief anyway. God gave us all free will.
Yes.
And we can choose to love each other, or we can
Yeah.
choose to hate each other.
That's
And
it.
it's up to us. He didn't make us puppets on strings where he's going to
Yeah.
go, okay, go be nice to Mamina now. She's a nice lady. Don't say anything stupid. He didn't I have no strings on my head. What's coming out of my
That's
mouth is me.
that's true. That's
And
true.
I'm trying to just listen and do what God's leading. But sometimes people make bad choices and they hurt each other, and they do things for in their own intentions.
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a big murder that was all over the news, still all over the news, and how awful that was. But when somebody kills somebody else, and I had a hard time with this when I learned this in my psychology classes, all behavior is well intentioned.
Yes.
What? Well
Yes.
intentioned, not necessarily good intentioned,
No,
but
no,
well
no.
intentioned by the person that is
Yes.
doing the behavior.
Absolutely.
And in the mind of the man who have, I mean, any of these shootings, they believe that they were trying to rid the world of something that wasn't good.
Yes.
That's where all wars start. It's people not agreeing on something and somebody thinking their idea is better than the next guy's idea. So we're going to make you do what we think is best, because I don't want to let God be God and let you try and figure it out. Um, you know, I, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. I've got a dear relative of mine who said, Linda, I stay as far away from Christians as possible because they're mean and judgmental, at least the ones she had met. She said, but you're the real deal. You really love people unconditionally, and you let us be who we are without judgment. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, duh. Isn't that what God asked us to? To me. Um, I can be me. I can have my faith. I can write my book and put scripture in it and write what I think God's saying to me. I don't have to judge you and tell
Yeah.
you you have to do it my way.
Yeah.
That God's good enough to do that himself. He
That's
created
true.
you. If
That's
he
true.
wants you to do something like do a podcast and invite Linda to come and be on it, well,
Yes.
that's up to God. Thank
And
you
I
for
am
listening.
listening, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you. You know this is what's so crazy, and how if people would just look, they would see it everywhere. But during COVID, 4 years ago this month, this last week actually, I got a message from a man in India. Now I don't take messages from men, especially from India or any other country,
Yeah.
because men are usually prowling, or I hate to say that, but a lot of them are scammers. And
Yeah.
but I felt like I just needed to open this message, and I'm like, "Why are you reaching out to me? Why?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll be honest, the Holy Spirit would not leave me alone." He said, "I tried to keep going past your profile, but what you're doing for the Lord, I just had to ask you to be on my podcast or on my channel." So every Saturday for the last 4 years, I haven't even brushed my teeth every day for the last 4 years, but I have done this every week on Saturday mornings for the last 4 years on this. I know, it's really cool, and people that I had one guy that I ran into at an AA meeting, probably 6 months ago. Never met the guy, didn't know who he was. Nobody comments on this on my Facebook page, a few people. My guys from Pakistan and India do, but he had never commented, and this guy here said, "Linda, please don't ever quit doing your Saturday morning messages. I get so much out of them every week." And I'm like, "What? You watch my messages?" He said, "Yeah, I've been watching them for years." I'm like, so that just goes to show that
Yeah.
we don't know the impact we're having.
Yep.
When we smile at someone, when we reach out to someone, when we invite somebody to be a guest on our podcast, we don't know the impact that this is going to have. It'll probably be long after you and I are dead and gone, Memina, that somebody's going to watch this podcast and go, "Oh, I'm so glad. I'd like to meet those ladies." And we'll have to say, "Sorry, we're dead. You'll have to meet us wherever we're going. Just follow what we're doing. Ask God, hey, I want to meet them someday." And then he can come meet us wherever we end up, right?
No, that's
Oh,
so true. That's so true. And I think whatever has happened today, it was good. I feel really, how do you say, unplanned peace.
oh, good. That's awesome. I love that. I just
To
love
learn
it.
about your work and the way you are serving, because a few days back I was just scrolling actually, and then in YouTube some video popped up like we are giving less and getting more from the world, uh, whereas it would have been a better world if we would have given more. Before, like you were saying in your 1976 or 1900s, or if I talk about my grandparents, I knew service as a core principle of human being human was related to service. I understood human being with service, in relation to service, because I have always seen my grandparents, my family, my friends, later my friends, but there is some inclination towards serving. I don't want to just say charity, because that's a part of service, but serving, active serving, like you are doing, right? So that is always there. Like service is factory fit in human being, but we are not exploring. Not all of us are exploring that.
Yeah. Right. Yep. It's, I really do appreciate this, and I just feel like I just wanna do what I do on my Saturday morning things so I can share what this is how I do it. Because when I wrote this book, I've been journaling for years, and I encourage everybody to journal, and if you want to hear God speak, here's how I do it. I just say, "God, speak to me." And then I put my hands on the keyboard, or I'll have a microphone and I'll talk into my Google Docs, and I just listen and I start typing. And that's what I did. Sometimes when I do my journaling, I'll say, "God, here's my problem." Sometimes I will see an inspiring verse or a message and I'm like, "Well, God, talk to me about that." And sometimes I just wake up and I hear this message, that God's speaking to me. So what I did is I kind of set it out in a 12-step sort of way. So I have a step for the day, and then my challenge, and then my prayer, and then a scripture. But what I like to do is just to say, "Okay, God, we've been talking about this message on unity, on people. Speak to us, God, and give us something you shared with me that I can read right here." And then I just stop. So, okay, I'm stopping right here. I have no idea what I'm going to read, but this is something that God spoke to me on February 28th. Um, Accept it or change it. It's your choice. And the challenge for me is all our emotional troubles in life transpire when things don't go our way. We set ourselves up for stress, hurt, anger, and discontent when we have a plan and it doesn't pan out as we had hoped. Oh, that's that expectation thing we talked about. We ask why, we get mad, and we waste a great deal of time in a tizzy over the if only and could have, should have's, and why didn't yous. If God is in control of our lives and we are maintaining conscious contact with Him, why then are we at such unrest? Are we ready to practice the serenity prayer and accept the things we cannot change the things we can, and pray for wisdom to know the difference? And the Bible verse I found was Luke 12:25 and 26. Can all of your worries add a single moment to your life? And if worry can't accomplish a little thing like that, what's the use of worrying over big things? And so when I said, "God, speak to me," this is what he said. "My child, you have heard it said, in the world you will have tribulation, but I have overcome the world. It is true. I have already done all that I can to give you the peace and contentment that you seek. All you have to do is accept it. You can't work your way into it. It's a free gift. You just need to decide. When you finally decide to accept my grace and cease striving from all your own efforts, you will have the wisdom and power to do all that I have asked of you. Stay close to me moment by moment, and there will be no need to be confused about what to do next. My love will sustain you." So that's how my book goes. And every time I read one of those, it's just like, "Oh, I forgot you said that to me, God." I need to be reminded of these things. And I really, truly believe that no matter where you are in your life, if you just say, "If there is a God," I've got people that I had one guy that I was counseling. He said, "No, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God." By the end of the first hour, doing the 3 Gs with him, he's like, "I think God brought us together." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." That was my response. I busted out laughing, and he's like, "Okay, well, maybe there is a higher power of some sort." I said, "Well, hey, I pray, whether you believe in God or not, I pray that whoever's out there would bring me the people he wants me to help.
Yeah.
So you're here for my God. picked you to be here today. And so it's
Wow.
really, I think God will answer anybody's cry for speak to me, God. I think he will. But
Yes.
then we got to listen. We just have to
Yes.
listen. That's
We
the
got
hard
to
part.
listen. Yes. I think that hard part has this podcast, through my work doing podcast, I have understood the communication between asking and listening. Because there are different ways people do their podcast, okay? And I did not wanted to follow that, because I don't follow everything. I don't follow any rules. I break them.
Oh, good.
I just am too hardy that way, too heady that way, like so. Um, so I just wanted to respond to what my heart says, not my mind. And I think I'm happy, however it is unfolding, because I don't have any expectations, and I do not have any sort of competition, because competition is part of it. But we are all gifted in our own ways,
Yes.
So what we see is competition, right? But we have our gifts.
Yes.
And not everybody starts at the same time,
Right.
you know
Right.
so instead of thinking about like, my thought process changed. Before, I used to feel like, oh my god, I need to do something, I need to do something. But now, I'm going well, I'm fine, I'm okay. And these words come to me whenever I am praying. And suppose I met you, I texted you, and then I am like, okay, I'm good. And then I'm listening to God. Just go with it. And then it's unfolding, and I'm fine. I do not have any anxiety, any sort of missing out or anything. I mean, it's playing out really well. It's panned out really well.
Oh, good. I feel like I did all the talking in this podcast, but thank you for rolling with the flow.
Yes, I mean, this process has made me so relaxed and accommodative of the other person, to let them be and let me be. We both are coexisting. So it's important to listen, because everyone matters. And this message, this holistic conversation, like, be you, be unique, be the universe, that is a vision board, a patience board of patience, like, everyone is unique. Let's celebrate.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Oh, that's wonderful. I love this podcast, and I've got somebody I want would be really good for your podcast. She's actually starting one very similar on how to break down the walls of division. Very
Okay.
similar kind of message. I love that.
Okay.
So
Okay. You
thank
can
you so
refer
much.
to as many as your heart
Okay.
says.
Okay.
I'll
All
be
right.
okay with it. Thank
Okay.
you, God, for this. Thank you, God. See?
Hey, it all works out. Gratitude. That's wonderful.
My
So
God is watching me. He is planning for me. I'm good.
he is. He is. There's a purpose for this whole thing. And what is your goal for the long term for this podcast?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know now. Now I'm focusing actually on my career, because I want to have my own clinic. I work with autistic children. I am doing my master's. So if I don't want to shatter my focus, because God is saying me to study. So now the main thing is I have to get my master's, and then experience, and then my clinic, and then I can think more about doing more. Or if God is planning something, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that is wonderful. I have an autistic stepson.
Oh,
So thank you for doing that. There just isn't enough services for autistic
yes, that's
people.
right.
And where are you from, Amina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, wonderful. You didn't get caught up in the floods last year, the
Some part,
hurricane of 24?
some parts of it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I loved it. It was wonderful talking to you. And yeah, my time is well spent. I can't ask for more. I'm happy.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your presence, and thank you for your sharing. Do the work that you are doing. Keep doing.
I will do it, and you as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.